Alrighty, what is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here back with another video, and I have more breaking news here for you guys. Now, unfortunately, this one isn't necessarily a move that's making New England better. This is not an addition, but a surprising cut. Some surprising news coming out of here in New England. The New England Patriots are going to be releasing cornerback Jalen Mills, or it might be disrespectful to him if I say cornerback. So let me say defensive back Jalen Mills. Now, this comes as a surprise cut. Obviously, the New England Patriots, one of their top needs is cornerback. You can put safety in there too, just secondary help in general. And New England's releasing a guy who was expected to be one of those top players for them heading into 2023. Now, Jalen Mills, who is just 28 years old, was headed into the third year of his 4-year deal that he signed in 2021. That was a 4-year, $24 million deal. He did take over a starting role for New England as an outside cornerback pretty much right away. And that's even when the Patriots had J.C. Jackson. You flash forward to 2022, just around this time last year, the New England Patriots still needed cornerback help. J.C. Jackson left. We were saying, who's going to be our cornerback one? Jalen Mills automatically was penciled in as a cornerback one for the Patriots, was looking good in training camp, was being utilized as cornerback one for the Patriots. Unfortunately, deals with a groin injury. And that's probably one of the bigger things here is, are the Patriots releasing him because bigger things are in play, or are they releasing him because that injury at the end of the day is going to be something that they believe is going to be a lingering problem? A groin injury is something that can really linger for quite a while. It can linger for an entire season. It can linger for a couple of seasons. We saw this happen with Jason McCourty a few years ago when he was here, a starting cornerback for the Patriots. Excellent year one, but year two was dealing with a groin injury that kept him out at an inconsistent level. And we all know the best availability in football is availability, or the best ability is availability. Now, in terms of what does this mean for the Patriots in a cap space sense, I know a lot of people are going to ask that. Releasing Jalen Mills frees up just $4 million, okay? And again, this is a move that I originally thought before Devin McCourty retired that this could be an option for the Patriots. I had a video lined up on a few guys that they could release, and that's still a video that I might end up making. And Jalen Mills was on that list until Devin McCourty retired. Because if Devin returned, then safety really isn't a major need for the Patriots, and they can kind of just focus on cornerback, ultimately releasing Jalen Mills, getting an upgrade, and just focusing on corner. But now with Devin retired, you're still in a position where you have to look at safety and you have to look at additions on top of cornerback now. And I thought, okay, well, Jalen Mills, when signed, should have been put in a rover role. He shouldn't have been placed as specifically a outside perimeter cornerback. He's someone that, while with the Philadelphia Eagles throughout his first few years, that's how he started his career, actually played better as a safety than he did a cornerback. So I was actually looking forward to seeing how New England could utilize him as a safety versus how they were going to utilize him as a corner. Because while he was good, he was inconsistent, and he wasn't a guy you would want going up against, Devontae Adams or a team's number one guy at a regular rate, especially these top wide receivers in the league. He actually even tweeted out just a few days ago, basically saying, hey, Pats Nation, you guys do know that I play safety, right? Because Devin retires, everyone's screaming, what do we do about safety? Who do we sign? Where are we going to go? And he's like, guys, yeah, I'm more of a safety than a cornerback. So a very surprising move, especially because Jalen Mills loves it here in New England. He's always had high praise for Bill Belichick and this coaching staff, so he was ecstatic when he got signed. I thought at the time him signing a 4-year deal was a little bit much. I didn't think that he was worth 4 years. What did I say? $28 million. I thought it was a little bit high for him. So I was expected at as big of a contract it was. But again, looking at our current standpoint, looking at the Patriots' current situation with where they are within the secondary, I ultimately thought that he was going to be a guy that the Patriots kept around. So ultimately, this creates a bigger hole for the Patriots. We're currently sitting, with the addition of $4 million, currently sitting at around $23.4 million in available cap space. Now, we do not actually have $23 million because the Patriots have yet to get the contract details in for a few players. So James Robinson, Joe Cardona, Daniel Aquale, Mike Gesicki, Calvin Anderson, and Mac Wilson are all players whose contracts are waiting on. So it's going to be much less than $23.4 million. So to me, I look at this and I say, does the value outweigh the player? Does releasing Jalen Mills help the Patriots just by freeing up $4 million? Because again, a guy who can play all over the defense, a rover role, can play at a higher quality at safety than cornerback, but still a good quality cornerback in an area which you really need help in the secondary. Is freeing up only $4 million really going to help you? You look at the current market of cornerbacks, it's not great. It's died down at this point. I think you also look at kind of the market that's already went with secondary. Darius Slay, he was available for trade, it looks like at one point, and then he's released, and then he's back to the Eagles. He's not an option, so I want to put that out there now. Jalen Ramsey obviously being traded. He's getting traded to the in-division rival, to the Dolphins. So obviously that's not an option anymore. For those saying Byron Jones is being released by the Dolphins, but he's being released, one, because he had a major cap hit, but two, because he's dealt with so many injuries that he's not ready to play football. He's being released, essentially just retiring. He's not playing football anymore. He's not going to be an option for the Patriots. And there's not a lot of cornerback options, I would say, at this point that could really help the Patriots from a free agency level, especially from a contract level. Again, only freeing up $4 million. I thought that it was an okay contract for the Patriots there in Jalen Mills. So I think at this point, we're either looking at a trade or we're going to be looking more specifically at drafting somebody high in this draft. Maybe it's first round, maybe it's second. This is a really good draft for cornerbacks, and maybe they go early on. I thought even if they brought somebody aboard via free agency, that they still need to draft a cornerback high. And I felt like with Jalen Mills, if you move him to safety, I feel like safety is not an issue anymore. You have Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips. Move Jalen Mills to safety where he's going to play better. And I'm not worried about us adding to safety or needing to take a safety within the first, 2 rounds or whatever. Then you can mainly focus on cornerback. But now I still feel like there's still a hole at safety and an even bigger hole at cornerback. And to me, that's concerning. Maybe they sign somebody like Marcus Peters, who's a veteran. How much is he going to cost? Not sure. I do still think that right now, while he is older, he's only going to last a year, 2 years max in the NFL. He's still a upgrade over somebody like Jalen Mills. Maybe they go that way. But with a team, with a coach like Belichick, who values cornerback and secondary so high, you have to think something has to be in play here. And more specifically, my biggest concern is that you're releasing your biggest cornerback. The issue with the Patriots at cornerback also goes back to the fact that they're so small. We officially have nobody that's going to be able to go up against bigger wide receivers, bigger tight ends. It's just not going to happen. Jalen Mills was the last guy we had that was 6 foot or taller. You look at the Patriots' current depth chart. Let me pull it up. The Patriots' current depth chart here, and you have Jonathan Jones. He sits in the 5-foot range. Marcus Jones, very small. He sits in the 5-foot range. Jack Jones, he sits in the 5-foot range also. We have no cornerback that peaks at least 6 foot, and that's going to be an issue for the Patriots. They have to add a guy with height. There's some guys in the draft that I like that do bring height. Guys even in the second to third round that they could add to do so, but even when you look at Jalen Mills, he's played 26 out of 35 games for the Patriots over the last 2 seasons. That's really not bad at all. He hasn't been bad by any means for the Patriots in terms of availability. Now, last year it was inconsistent, but still didn't do bad. Jalen Mills wasn't super tall, but still 6 foot, gave the Patriots the tallest height that they had. And he was a big piece of the Patriots defense over the last 2 seasons in terms of snap count. A little bit of special teams, but not a whole lot. Played 90% for the Patriots in 2021 when he played a full season. And then this past year, even with those injuries, still played a total of 75% of the Patriots defensive snaps. So a bigger loss than I think some people are going to give it credit for. Even if we look at his statistics with PFF this past year, they weren't good. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. He was not good this past year. 44.6 overall grade with a run defensive grade of 53.5, a pass rush grade of 58.5, and a coverage grade of 42.7. Obviously not good. Only puts up a total of 26 solo tackles with 3 assisted, 9 total stops, 0 sacks, 3 missed tackles, 2 interceptions, a passer rating of 79.2 allowed, and was allowing 12.3 yards per reception. If we want to look at last year when he was at least healthy with the Patriots and played a full season, he put up good statistics. And maybe that was because he wasn't asked to be a cornerback 1. He was asked to be CB2 to CB3 at best. But he put up an overall grade for the Patriots in his first year of 67.5, a run defensive grade of 75.3, a pass rush grade of 79.3, and a coverage grade of 63.4. Not a great coverage guy. But again, you look at these statistics, great as a run defender, as a pass rusher. If he just moved to safety and played everything that's in front of him, I think he would have done this at a much higher level than corner, which again is why I was excited to see him in that area. But you got to think the Patriots are brewing up something here. But at least for now, the New England Patriots are releasing cornerback Jalen Mills in a surprising move. Cornerback becomes a much, much, much bigger need now. So New England, I know right now, free agency wise, is looking at safeties. I haven't heard them bring in cornerbacks really at all. I think they brought in 1 or 2 cornerbacks so far via free agency. A lot of safeties, though. Hopefully something's brewing up to where they can add a true CB1, because right now this is a big glaring issue for the Patriots in their secondary. But what are your guys' thoughts on Jalen Mills being released? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, though, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Patriots.